Hey, what's up? I've been living in Spain for 2 years and I've come up with a list of the most essential phrases you need to know to ace any Spanish conversation. And watch out because I will be quizzing you along the way to make sure you're learning. Let's start with the greetings. To start a conversation, you might say, Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello, how are you? Hola, ¿cómo estás? And to respond to this, you can say, Bien, ¿y tú? Good, and you? Bien, ¿y tú? There are also greetings that change depending on the time of day. So for instance, Buenos días, good morning. Buenos días, buenas tardes, good afternoon. Buenas tardes. And buenas noches, good evening. Buenas noches. And some key responses you might use are mucho gusto, nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. Encantado de conocerte, or encantada de conocerte, which means nice to meet you. If you're a man, you will say encantado. If you're a woman, you will say encantada. And igualmente, likewise. Igualmente. And finally, to say goodbye, you will say hasta luego or nos vemos, which both mean see you later. Hasta luego or nos vemos. Now, people say these so quickly that you might not even recognize what they say. Like here, they say hasta luego, hasta luego. But these are all super common greetings and ways to say goodbye. Now for the quiz. How do you say nice to meet you? Nos vemos, mucho gusto, or igualmente? It's mucho gusto, nice to meet you. Now on to number 2, phrases to start daily conversations. Now when you're finished greeting, you'll want to get the conversation rolling by saying something like, ¿Qué hay de nuevo? Or ¿Qué cuentas? Meaning, what's up? ¿Qué hay de nuevo? Or ¿Qué cuentas? Also, ¿Qué has hecho? What have you been up to? ¿Qué has hecho? To talk about the weather, you could say, ¿Qué calor? It's so hot. ¿Qué calor? Or if it's really cold, ¿Qué frío hace hoy? It's freezing today. ¿Qué frío hace hoy? And to comment on the time of the week, you could say something like, Al fin viernes. At last, Friday. Al fin viernes. Also, ¿Qué planes para el fin de semana? Any plans for the weekend? ¿Qué planes para el fin de semana? And you might also hear a very common way to shorten this to fin de. ¿Qué planes para el fin de? And now for the quiz. How would you say it's so hot? ¿Qué calor? ¿Qué cuentas? ¿Qué frío? The correct answer is ¿Qué calor? By the way, all the vocabulary I'm going over in this video you can find using the link for the PDF in the description below. Now on to common everyday expressions. The following expressions are used all the time in Spanish, but you have to pay attention because they are not literal translations from English. En serio, seriously. En serio. Qué lástima, that's a shame. Qué lástima. Suerte, good luck. Suerte. No pasa nada. Don't worry about it. No pasa nada. And another way of saying this, no te preocupes. No te preocupes. And finally, no hay problema. No problem. No hay problema. Okay, it's quiz time. How do you say don't worry about it? Qué lástima, suerte, or no pasa nada? It is sí. No pasa nada. But you have to be careful because, like I said, some of these Spanish phrases aren't translated literally from context. No pasa nada literally means nothing happens, but in context it really means, don't worry about it. The only way to really internalize these differences is by just hearing the terms over and over again in authentic contexts. And honestly, I recommend you to just watch Netflix or YouTube videos because they're fun, they're culturally authentic, and they use a lot of vocabulary. The only problem is that not every YouTube video or piece of media has subtitles. So it can be really difficult to try to listen to what they're saying and parse out words, and then to go to the dictionary and back to the video and back to the dictionary, etc. So if you want a more simplified way to watch authentic media and learn your target language, you should check out FluentU. It has this whole catalog of actual real-world Spanish videos along with in-depth interactive subtitles, so you'll understand every word. Plus, FluentU has these personalized quizzes along with these speaking questions, so you can speak to the app and it can correct your pronunciation. It's a very powerful tool that allows you to learn lots of vocabulary from real-world interesting videos. So to start learning authentic Spanish, check out the link in the description below for a free trial of FluentU and come back and let me know what it's done for you. Now, an important part of any conversation is the questions. So next up, we have basic questions. Now, before you ask a question, you probably have to get their attention by saying something like disculpe or disculpa. Disculpe being the formal version, disculpa being the informal version of the verb. Now for some common what questions, you might ask ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? ¿Qué hora es? Or ¿Qué es esto? What is this? ¿Qué es esto? As for some how questions, you might say ¿Cuánto cuesta? How much does this cost? ¿Cuánto cuesta? Or ¿Cuánto es? How much is it? ¿Cuánto es? Also, another option is ¿Cómo llego a? How do I get to this place? So if you want to say, how do I get to the Plaza Mayor? You could say, ¿Cómo llego a Plaza Mayor? And a few other essential questions include ¿Dónde está el baño? Where is the bathroom? ¿Dónde está el baño? Or ¿Podrías ayudarme, por favor? Could you help me, please? ¿Podrías ayudarme, por favor? And time for our final quiz. How would you say, what is this? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué has hecho? Or ¿Qué es esto? It is indeed ¿Qué es esto? What is this? Now, if you really want to improve your Spanish listening skills using authentic content, I highly recommend the video on this screen that takes clips from real Spanish movies and TV shows and turns them into language learning quizzes. So I'll see you over there. Happy language learning.